Good, thanks, Matt. Next up is budget amendment, resolution 1716. For other county tax expenses, an increase of $3,200. Every year we estimate that the money that goes to the county auditor for their services, this is a percentage based on our real estate tax collection. We're a little bit under this year, so $3,200 to go to county auditor for their fees. We need a supplemental appropriation, so I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any further questions? Okay, call the vote. Mr. Gertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Vittori?
Yes.
And Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Thank you. Next up is tax certification. This is on the tail end of our meeting with the Budget Commission. This is a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission, authorizing the necessary tax levies, and certifying them to the county auditor. Let's look at our Schedule B really quick. Our Schedule B speaks to our millage, the county auditor's estimate of yield for the levies. We have a 0.7 mill levy. The estimate for 2017 tax collection is $903,535. We have a 1 mill. Estimate for 2017 is $2,566,588, and another 1 mill. An estimate for collection on that is $2,993,624. So for a total estimated tax collection in 2017 on 2.7 mils of $6,463,747. So with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Also move to accept. Second.
Any questions, any further discussion? All right, Mr. Gertz,
Yes.
Mrs. Vittori,
Yes.
and Mr. Barker.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, next up is a 50-year use agreement with the Village of Middlefield, Ohio. This is related to our Maple Highlands Trail South project. Given Middlefield does own some of the property, we requested a 50-year use agreement with them because we will be paying for, paying for improvements. The current estimate of probable cost of $1.3 million, so we presented to Middlefield the request for a 50-year use agreement. They did, as you see in my memo, they did approve this 50-year use agreement as written at their September 8th, 2016 meeting. So next up is the request commissioners to approve the 50-year use agreement. So I'll entertain a motion, bring it to the table for discussion.
I'll so move so we can discuss.
Okay.
Maybe you could read that resolution out loud for the audience? Because our understanding from Middlefield is that they have not approved this agreement and we'll be looking at their October meeting. So I think it's good to get the facts correct.
That's,
John, I have an issue with.
Well, we have
well,
three
let's,
motions.
we got a
to discuss.
motion. Do I have a second?
It's not approving it, it's just to discuss.
Have a second.
It is.
Second.
All right. So I'll go ahead and open it up to the board for discussion. So,
I have an issue with Article 1.1. I am not in favor of allowing snowmobiles or motorized mobility devices. And the reason for that being, if you're allowing horses and some of the other items, and basically it's been a great boon to the Amish and also to the Yankee population because it's taken a lot of the Amish traffic off of 608 and moved them into the Tariff Freeway. I think that if you've ever seen a horse and a snowmobile, it's not fun. I mean, they spook very easily. So for the safety aspect of this, I object to that. I would vote for the amendment as long as we can strike snowmobiles and motorized mobile devices.
John, either way, to vote on this, is it, can you confirm that Middlefield has voted on this?
The language in their meeting minutes and what was conveyed to me by the employees of the Village of Middlefield was that the Village of Middlefield Council authorized and directed the mayor to enter into the use agreement with Jog Park District. That agreement has not been signed yet by the mayor because we are waiting for the Board of Park Commissioners to vote on it, and it will be executed by both myself and the mayor, assuming you pass it.
Okay. So, do you have anything to discuss? So at this point, we have a motion to go into it. So we have to vote on that, and if there needs to be further amendments, then we can redo a motion, correct?
That's
Is that the
correct.
correct
That's
process?
correct.
Because the motion right now stands to approve it.
Excuse me, could I make a comment regarding it before you, just a very short one?
Thank
No?
you.
Okay,
No, thanks.
okay.
Still think the memorandum should be read out loud for the audience?
It's 3 pages long, ma'am.
There any further
I could read it
discussion?
out loud really fast if you want.
Thank you for your points.
Two members of the board of Middlefield said they'd never seen it. No one voted on it.
It's in the minutes that was sent to me, which I'd be happy to produce to you Board of Park Commissioners. The exact language in the minutes that was produced to me says the agreement was reviewed at their September 8, 2016 meeting. The council authorized and directed the mayor to enter into the use agreement with Jog Park District. So it's to be executed by the mayor. So there's some level of discomfort. I would rather not table it because we would like to move this project forward with our environmental design group. Yeah, but if there's any other discussion, I'm willing to entertain those discussions or concerns.
But if you
All right, pending no further discussion, go ahead and call for the vote. Mr. Kurtz,
No.
Mrs. DeTore,
Yes.
and Mr. Barker.
Yes.
Thank you. Next up is Commissioner's time.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to propose a name for the new property that we're in the process of purchasing on Bascom Road. And I'm going to take a little bit of time to give you some history on this. In 1953, when my wife and I purchased our farm, which is right next to it, and of course, that's a point of controversy, I guess, to some people. But the people that owned the end of the road, it was a beautiful farm, beautiful dairy farm, large sugar bush, and the man's name was Carl Staple. That's S-T-A-P-E-L. And during the course of history and time, the land has gone back and forth and to the point where we were lucky enough to enter into an agreement with him. So my point was, I'd like to go back and call this piece of property, 198 acres, Staples Meadow. And here's the reason. Carl Staple, of course, was a very good neighbor. He died, I think, in probably, I'm not sure the date, about 1950, somewhere in there, 60. I was able to find his daughter, the only living relative of the property now, who still lives in Clarendon. She's going to be 90 years old. And she said she was elated when she found out that the park was buying the property and saving it from becoming a development. And I said, well, Lois, I said, I'd like to suggest to the board that we call it Staples Meadow. And she said, oh, that would be great. I said, did your dad buy this property? He said, oh, no, he inherited it from his dad. Mrs. DeTore stated to me that she'd like to do a little bit of a historical background check so that we can let the people know how long it's been in the family and in the area. But for today, I'd like to call it Staples Meadow. I'd like to bring that to a